You don't need motivation to make it in life. But hear me out. This might sound controversial, but just listen to me for just a minute. Like when there's motivation, everything feels possible. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Think about it severally. How many times have you been motivated this year? You've seen somebody driving by your dream car and you get motivated, all pumped up. But in the next hours or just weeks, days, all that vanishes. So motivation is not reliable. It depends on your mood, energy, and circumstance. So based on the circumstance, you may be motivated to think that you are pumped up and you are ready to make great hits and then achieve some great heights. Over time, I've learned that the people who make real progress aren't the most motivated one, but they are the people who are consistent. So what you need is consistency and not motivation. Now let's talk about this in real life scenarios. I don't want to be more bookish or what is documented. Let's deal with it how we see motivation and consistency in our everyday life. You only get paid at the end of the month, your salary, because you were consistent. You showed up at work, your boss see you every day, and you carry out what is expected of you. There are days that you get up and you don't feel like going to work. There's no motivation, there's nothing triggering you to go. But for you to get paid, you need to go, right? So at this point, you are no longer thinking about, am I motivated to go to work today? But you're thinking about, do I have to show up so that I will be consistent and get recognized as I'm not slacking off my duty? So you realize that motivation is actually overrated. Motivation is emotional and emotions changes, right? It's often triggered by some form of excitement, as mentioned earlier, some inspirations, or some need of urgency. And most people don't fail because they lack motivation. They fail because they rely on motivation to carry them through the long stretch of ordinary effort. If you rely on motivation, you will never be able to achieve what ordinary effort can achieve. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't ask how you feel. It asks whether you showed up anyway and carry out what you're supposed to do. So in reality, no one ever makes it just through motivation. Motivation is a good trigger to get you started, but it is consistency devoid of emotional attachment that carries you throughout the journey. Let's think about fitness, right? Think about it this way. Every January, a lot of people make promises and showed up in the gym. I want to lose weight because they are motivated. In less than 2, 3 weeks, go there and check. Just few people will be there. Majority of them would have left because the motivation that they had earlier on has faded away because it was an emotional state, right? Motivation starts the journey, all right, but consistency is what finishes it. So if you want to make great height, I'm motivating you not to stay motivated, but you need to be consistent, right? Consistency is the key. When you wake up, you feel like doing some things, and sometimes you go ahead and do it. And there are days you wake up and there's no desire to do it. But think about it that to make breakthroughs, you need to be consistent and you don't have to rely on that emotional dopamine call. Now, let's talk about another thing in terms of why motivation isn't reliable. Think about it this way. When you see that you want to make your dream come true by buying an object that you've seen, maybe some material thing. You are motivated to work hard the first week, first 2 weeks, but as time goes on, when that thing vanishes from sight, that emotional connection that you had that motivated you fades away, and eventually your dream begins to fade away, right? Correct, that's fade away in English. Motivation is something that will get you to start, but eventually to sustain that thing, you need to have consistency. So consistency over motivation. So anything that you want to do in the coming year, I know by now you are writing your, what do they call it, wish lists or New Year goals. Yeah. You are writing your New Year goals. I want to do A, B, C, D. You cannot do it if you are going to base it on motivation alone. You need motivation to start, but to actually achieve it, you need consistency. So you need to be consistent throughout the journey. Days may be boring, but still you need to get up